We are coming live, eyeing unto two masses who once became friends. They spoke the same language and shared similar ideologies during campaigns.
I, William Samoei Ruto, in full realization, so help me God.
Only later for the junior master to realize that it was political deceit by his boss.
I will not allow, for example, my running mate or my deputy president to be humiliated by junior staff.
It is true, there is an impeachment motion against the deputy president, and as member of parliament for Kikuyu, I have already appended my signature to it.
Beyond Bulletin on the YouTube channel of Top Notch Media KE. Don't miss to catch up with the latest trends. Top Notch Media, home of news.
It is an 8-letter word. B-E-T-R-A-Y-A-L. Betrayal. In dictionary, it is defined as an act of not being loyal to your country or person. In Nicholas Machiavelli's work, he once said that politics often involve manipulation and unethical strategies in order to gain and maintain power. Now, do you think that's the case? Join us in Beyond Bulletin as we are going to expound it in details. Stay tuned because it's gonna be factual. Now, Kenyans, do you think that the government is loyal or it is always playing cards of betrayal? Like the case of the impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Do you think the term betrayal can define what caught up with him till today? Speculation of him being impeached from his detractors, resulting to him being impeached. When and how did betrayal begin in President William Ruto's regime? During the anti-government protests, there was mayhem. Roads were barricaded when Gen Z were fighting Finance Bill 2024. But what is strange is that immediately people died, there was press conference. President William Ruto on the other side, impeached Deputy President on the other side, 26th of June. Now let us take a look at the content of their press briefing. Jared.
Thank you, Chair. June 26, 2024 will forever be remembered in history as an event where the Deputy President and the President gave two contrasting press briefings. The Deputy gave his at Mombasa while the President at Kano. The content of the Deputy President, Dr. Geoffrey Rigathi Gachagua, he blamed the NIS boss, Nurdin Haji, of failing to issue the President with the accurate information of the need to reject the finance bill. He also blamed the NIS boss, that is Nurdin Haji, of frequently visiting abroad instead of being busy at the office issuing the President with information. He went further and said that he went further and accused him of allegation towards Nurdin Haji that the NIS was not serious, simply because he was weak and could not provide accurate information to the President of the need to reject the finance bill. Or another scenario, the President, His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, on another geographical area, blamed the Gen Zs of the protest. He, in his words, mentioned the Gen Zs as a group of organized criminals who masqueraded the nation. It was shocking for the president to say this, and this led the Gen Zs to went ahead and protest. It is clear in the same two videos that the two executive arms were not united. The 2010 Constitution, Chapter 9 of Article 147 clearly states that, as I read, clearly said that the Deputy President shall be the principal assistant of the President and shall deputize for the President in the execution of the President function. Having looked at the Constitution, it is clear that, my colleagues, it's clear that the President and the Deputy President are not united. Were not united simply because the Constitution clearly states out that the Deputy should be the principal assistant of the President. That means when the President is not there, he is supposed to take charge. But in this scenario, the President, who is the head of the state, issued a press conference. At the same time, the Deputy President, on a different location, issued his, which were too contrasting. The need to reject the finance bill after the NIS boss failed to do so. Was it the president? Now we are left with the two questions. Where was the deputy president when the NIS boss failed? Why didn't he advise the president accordingly? Second question, could it be that the president was not watching the television to know if the Gen Zs were not in support of the bill? Over to you, Chair.
Okay, I believe that is where the impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua started to fall. Betrayal began from that point, releasing two different presses. Back to Brian Odhiambo, what can you tell us about NIS in terms of constitution?
I will not allow, for example,
All right, so I agree with you, Jared, but
humiliated by June.
when it comes to government, government organ is always something which is always right. And we are made to understand that there are security organs within the country, and that includes when you read through the Constitution 2010, you realize that we have three security organs, which includes the Kenya Defence Forces, the National Intelligence Service, we have the National Police Service there. But when you read that Article 14, I mean Chapter 14, Article 239, Paragraph 1b, it says that the primary objectives of the national security organs, of which these security organs include the NIS, so their primary objective of work is to promote and guarantee security within the country. So let's say, for an instance, today, let's say there's insecurity outbreak around Nairobi or around anywhere else. It is on their neck, the three arms of government, to make sure that there is peace in the country. So if anything happens, they are the ones who should be held accountable, because you cannot put the deputy president on the line saying that he should inform the president on most of the things. Yes, we agree that he should be doing that, but as a government structure, it's a bigger institution. Then I think where now people start drawing lines when it comes to National Intelligence Service and why the deputy president was talking the way he was about the boss, that is Nordin Haji, is why you will ask yourself, and you'll start wondering, why put a blame only on one organ, yet there are three organs. There is Kenya Defence Forces, and there's also National Police Service. that is where now people will start coming up with the questions and they will ask themselves. And to some extent, let's take instance, there's Jared, there's Leanne, there's Dorcas. Both of you are assigned to do specific role, but I go and find this role has not been done, and then I start putting the blame game on Jared, leaving the two of you. You will have that suspicious nature with you. So I think that is where now people are starting to draw the lines, saying that it was an attack. Yeah.
Thank you for that. But I have a second question that I would like my learning friends to clarify for me. This question goes like this. Was it that the president was not watching the news to know if Kenyans didn't want the finance bill? Because I believe the protest was for a week. Was the president not watching the television for all this time to know that there's a need to stop the finance bill?
Jared Kwe, that's a good question. But we can't talk in terms of just assuming something. To be honest, we were not there with the president. We can't say he watched or he never watched. We believe president is a very busy person. Maybe he was held up, maybe he was watching, maybe he did not comment. So based on that, I can't say anything because we believe president is a very busy person. So maybe he watched and was taking notes on what he was supposed to address. So there, I can't expound it in details.
Okay, so I think, first of all, sometimes we need to be honest people.
Truthful man.
Yeah, we need to be honest, not truthful men, but honest people. We want to be a truthful man. So, when it comes to president getting information, it is a clear fact that president knew. We can't lie to ourselves that he never knew that. People never wanted the financial bill because it came the first time people protested. He was aware. He gave out the statement. Then, after giving the statement about him, he called people criminals and prisoners, so on. So, if he was not aware, there was first reading of the budget, of that financial budget 2024. So, if there was first reading of that financial budget 2024, then it was taken to the National Assembly. There's always participation in every serious thing that the government is doing. And our constitution gives the citizens ability. The chapter 1 of the constitution that speaks about the sovereignty of the people and power belongs to the people. So in everything that is being done, including financial bill, they are being included. Those bills are taken to the National Assembly, and of course the speaker have to take the information to the president. So he was just aware, though we don't know what he was thinking about, because imagine the first step of the financial bill, reading after reading, then all those things, and then it reaches a point. People are being told, the MPs, the citizens are telling the MPs that we don't need you guys to pass this financial bill. But because I don't know what happened, they passed that financial bill, and it became now to a situation whereby now the parliament is being burnt down after 60 bills, the first time in the history of Kenya. So I mean, he was aware about that, and if the deputy president says that maybe the advisors are the ones advising the president wrong, to some extent, I don't know whether it's true, but let me just leave it at that point. Yeah.
Okay, thank you once again, Brian. Dorcas Kangwi, what can you say about that?
Thank you so much, Chair. Actually, Leanne, I've listened on how Jared and Brian have been discussing, and we both know that this is not new. During the former president regime, that is His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, they had different opinion with his deputy president, who is now the current president of Kenya. So, what happened to His Excellency President William Ruto and impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua? It is normal in terms of opinions.
Thank you, Dorcas Kangwi. Moving on.
Then maybe to interact, maybe
Just to clarify one last thing.
Okay.
There are principles, or if the deputy president claims that the security organ has not done good, there are principles and some guidelines that gives the national security to work under its work timeline. And these principles include the national security of Kenya shall promote and guarantee their work in accordance with the following principles. And the first principle is national security is subject to authority, constitution, parliament. And parliament now comes in here where there is a state of emergency. They need to approve that. And then national security shall be pursued in compliance with the law and with the utmost respect to the rule of law. And that they should abide with the democracy, human rights, and fundamental freedoms. And one of the key fundamental freedoms of people, my good brothers, is freedom for life, freedom of life, and also, but according to CS of Interior, 42 people died. So if 42 people died during the protest, then it speaks some sort of information that indeed there's someone who's sleeping somewhere.
Yeah.
So these allegations of the deputy president, at some point, if you keenly look at them, you can come into conclusion. Yeah.
Okay. When we moving on to the rise and fall of the impeached deputy president Rigathi Gachagua, let's look at humiliation of impeached deputy president Rigathi Gachagua. Before Gachagua was impeached, he was humiliated. But then I remembered something. During the 2022 elections and campaigns, we were bombarded with series of news concerning manifestos, right? And President William Ruto also made a promise concerning humiliation, concerning the term humiliation of his deputy president Rigathi Gachagua. What can you say about that, Brian?
All right, so I think before I speak about humiliation, we will play clip 3 and see what the video says.
I will not allow, for example, my running mate or my deputy president to be humiliated by junior staff.
So about this clip, if you see that clip very well, you realize that from the clip, the president said that his juniors or his junior staff will not intimidate the deputy president. And since the impeachment, if you've been keen, I mean, the president have been there, and most of the conversations that he makes, he doesn't even speak about that impeachment.
Which is very true.
Yeah. So if he doesn't speaks about that impeachment motion, then you ask yourself that someone is doing something somewhere, and we are not aware.
Yeah.
So humiliation now comes in because I think, to some extent now, we might speak about something, then we fail now to come through that end. So I think that is where humiliation comes, because he's very quiet about this.
And if I may ask, this is the term humiliation. When we commenced the Beyond Bulletin, our main theme was betrayal, right? Do you think when we say that President William Ruto allowed his deputy president, who is Rigathi Gachagua, to be humiliated, do you think we can term or we can define that as betrayal?
I mean, if the deputy president is quiet about this, I mean, this is betrayal. Imagine me coming telling you that I won't allow Jared to come close to you, then Jared comes close to you, then I'm just quiet. That is humiliation and that is betrayal. I'm not going against our arguments.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Now let us look at the instances where Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua was humiliated. We have those series of chances where he was humiliated. And I want to give Jared this chance to kindly give us one instance or incident where the impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua was humiliated while his boss was quiet.
Yeah, it seems the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has been into a hell of a ride. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. In his interview with the Citizen TV, Geoffrey Rigathi Gachagua, of course, shocked Kenyans when he stated that he was removed from the WhatsApp group of the president's diary. And later on, we could see politicians allied to the president accusing and trying to sabotage the deputy president that he is not attending the president function. But in his interview, the deputy president clearly said that he could not attend the function simply because he was kicked out of the WhatsApp group where all the informations and the events are being planned. As we also move out, the Secretary General, the private secretary to President Ruto, known as Mayo, I think I'm right, Mayo, is the one who kicked the deputy president out of the WhatsApp group, together with his colleagues. The reason as to why he was kicked out of the WhatsApp group was simply because you guys can remember when Gachagua was stating that in quotes he was saying tulionywa na uhuru. You remember, I think the video will be played soon so that it comes from the horse's own mouth.
Yeah.
They accused the deputy president of aligning himself with the president's enemy, that is the politician aligned to the former president Uhuru Kenyatta. His removal made him to miss the president event, and those aligned to him also, and took advantage to accuse him. Let's see with this video and get the accurate information.
Okay, just to emphasize on the WhatsApp issue. I remember very well, okay, I'm not a fanatic of memes, but netizens immediately, everything trends, they make a meme. And personally, I was shocked when I saw the impeached deputy president removed from WhatsApp group. And it was kind of embarrassing because when politicians meet there to air their views, you might find some saying that impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua was not attending some events. Yet you see here he was removed from WhatsApp group. And remember when President William Ruto was being interviewed during the 2022 elections, I believe, he said that he won't allow any juniors, he won't allow any junior staff to humiliate his deputy, but yet he allowed. Gachagua was removed from the WhatsApp group. Now, Dorcas Kangwi, can you give us another instance where impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua was humiliated, yet his boss was quiet?
Okay, thank you so much, Leon. Actually, I think so. The words of the president, His Excellency William Ruto, is the vice versa of what is happening right now. There are these words which were said by Honorable Doris Donya Oburi, who is the woman representative Kisii County. She actually talked about the words the impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua said that there is some corruption in the government. So for that, it means that Honorable Doris Donya was trying to refer to that the Deputy President who has been impeached, Rigathi Gachagua, is now the Mkora in the government. Back to you, Leon.
Okay, thank you. And the boss was just quiet. Maybe before we move to another category, is there anyone who wants to add on something, Brian?
All right, there's another instance where the Deputy President was humiliated. The other day, the Deputy President was just from church. And not church, I mean. I don't know, but he was from the hospital, the current hospital, that incident that happened the other day. So if you check the words that were said by His Excellency, the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, what he stated, if I may quote, is that on August 30th in Kisumu, undercover security agents entered my room and bagged it and one of them tried to poison my food, but we detected it and were able to escape the scheme. End of quote. So if the deputy president says that there are some undercover police that tried to enter into his room to poison him, then it leaves us with a lot of questions. Then here comes when he's being told or being invited to the DCI headquarters, but we all know that he refused to go to the DCI headquarters. So Kenyans are being left in the limelight of the day. They don't know what to do. And then another incident was on church. Do you remember those two church incidents where the first church incident, the deputy president was supposed to go, was reserved a seat over where the president was. Then he didn't show up. Then I think he said that he was held up somewhere and he was committed. So after that, the president was also to be somewhere, I think in Embu or somewhere, yeah. So if the president was supposed to be in that church, then the moment he heard that the deputy is going to attend that church, he didn't show up. So I think this looks like you do me, I do you. Yeah, so that is where I leave it.
Okay, those are the instances where impeached deputy president was humiliated, yet his boss was quiet. Now, let us expedite the process by looking at the impeachment motion that was tabled in Parliament, that is National Assembly, by Mwengi Mutuse, Kibwezi West MP. Now, this was after speculation, rumors that impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua was going to be impeached. Now, before that, there was public participation, and you saw it in Bomas of Kenya, where citizens were there and they were involved in that issue. Now, before we expedite the process to the National Assembly, which is Parliament, let me give Dorcas Kangwi to explain the processes of public participation.
Thank you so much. The public participation was done in Bomas of Kenya, right, and based on the Constitution, Chapter 8, Article 118. In paragraph A and B, depicts that Parliament shall conduct its business in an open manner, and its sittings and those of its committees shall be open to the public. Parliament and its committees shall facilitate the public participation and involvement in legislative and all other parliamentary business. This part of Constitution is focused on ensuring that the public can access and participate in legislative activities. For example, public forum. Actually, public forum, it was used in Bomas of Kenya, where citizens were given permission to give out their views based on the impeachment motion. Another one which was used was petition. It was done when the impeachment of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua tried to challenge the impeachment motion in the court, and it was declined by the court.
Yeah.
And the other one was memorandum. Submission of the memorandum to the Speaker of the National Assembly, who is Honorable Moses Wetangula, by the citizens of Kenya. That is my point of view, Liana Tiena.
Okay, thank you very much. Now you are now well conversant with the public participation process, that is public forum, petition, memorandum. And in public forum, in Bomas of Kenya, something happened where we bring in Morara Kebaso, but that is a discussion of another day. Now, that is step one. Now, let us go very fast to the Parliament, the National Assembly, where we saw MPs going there to debate on the motion that was tabled, which is impeachment of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. We saw how MPs debated on it, how it was voted upon, and how they ended up impeaching Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Now, I want to give this chance to Jared Kwe to kindly explain the grounds, what happened there, Yeah, and how impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua ended up to be outstirred.
Okay, once again, thank you, Chair, for the opportunity. Now, as I may read as per the chapter 9. Now, as I may read as per chapter 9 of the 2010 Constitution, going deep to Article 145, it clearly states that a member of the National Assembly, supported by at least 2/3 members, may move a motion of the impeachment of the Deputy President. Moving on, we saw Kibwezi MP, that is Mwenge Tuse, tabled a motion to the Parliament, which it was successfully went to the next step. It was supported by 2/3 of the members of the Constitution. The Deputy President was in his grounds. He read the grounds. It was violation of the Constitution. That was one. Second, the President. Third, against the government policies. Confidential information, the Cabinet. Abuse of office and gross misconduct. And lastly, crimes under national law. Of course, those members of Parliament that voted yes were 281 voted yes, 44 voted no, and 1 was absent. I believe it was Babu Owino, if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
You're right.
With that, Chair, I rest my case.
Okay, based on what Jared Kwe has said, in Parliament, which is National Assembly, the impeachment motion was tabled, right? Now, before expediting the process to the Senate, let me just pose a question. Do you think the National Assembly, which is the Parliament, was fair with the process compared to the Senate?
Chair, I might add on something on that, on the question you have just posed for us. As per my view, I think the motion was it was like they had a command from a high authority to hurry up the process. Basing my fact from the interview at Citizen TV, Honorable Eugene Wamalwa said that it was like they received a phone call from above to hasten the process of impeachment. Even after the president, even after the deputy president was ill, the impeached deputy president. The impeached deputy president was ill. As per the constitution, they could have time to recover. But what happened? Some few hours later, they went on with the impeachment motion simply because they were in a hurry to chase him out of power.
Do you want to add something?
Yeah, thank you so much. No, I don't have a question. Actually, Jared, you say that Eugene Wamalwa likely received a phone call from above, but it was not assured that the phone call was received from above.
No, it was not Eugene Wamalwa. It was not Eugene Wamalwa. I mean, Eugene Wamalwa was trying to give an example, like, he was trying to say that those people who were involved in the impeachment motion that was tabled, they did it in a process as if they received a phone call that you should do away with this man with immediate effect.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah. Now, Brian, do you have something to add on that?
Doesn't have anything to add, just proceed to the next step.
Okay, now, after the impeachment was done in peaceful, now let us go to the Senate. The Senate, we have Amazon Kingi, who is the Speaker. Then we had Paul Mwite, who was the impeached Deputy President Advocate. Now, in the Senate, according to me, I believe Senate would have handled the process very keen compared to the National Assembly. That's why when impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua felt like the National Assembly did not do well, the case was moved to the Senate. But based on how the Senate handled this case, raised eyebrows. For instance, immediately after a short break during the process, the impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua was not there. And we got this information from Paul Mwite, who is the advocate of the impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Now, he was not there willingly. He said that he was there. He was not there because he was admitted in Karen Hospital. We expected grounds, and in each ground, the senators voted on each ground, and the results were aired into the electronic system. Now, I remember vividly when in Citizen TV, when a discussion was held, one of the guests that was invited, who is well conversant with politics, said that only one ground was enough for the impeached deputy president to go home, meaning even if the other four grounds were not there and the Senate approved one, that was enough for him to go home. Now, the grounds were gross misconduct, crime under National Cohesion Act, gross violation of the Constitution, undermining the independence of judges, inflammatory remarks, and insightful utterances, which is very true. There's a saying in Kenya that say, internet does not forget. And immediately, and I'm quite surprised, not even surprised, because this is normal. Netizens usually wait for the downfall. When you come to that point where you are falling, they will play that clip in TikTok. Inflammatory remarks and insightful utterances were kind of right. Now, in the Senate, after the Senate, we are proceeding to the High Court, of which the impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua is in that process. And actually, there was a speculation that immediately the Senate arrives in the decision making that the impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua should go home, Kithure Kindiki was to take over, right? Yes. And he also went to the parliament. And I remember Jalango, MP of Langata, is he an MP of Langata?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. He said when he was given chance with the Speaker, Moses Wetangula, to air his view, he said that, congratulations, Kithure Kindiki, because you are going to secure that part. Then Moses Wetangula posed the question and asked MP Jalango, who told you that he's going to be the deputy president? And what was Jalango's answer? Based on how Kenyans or Kenyan government is expediting the process without sitting down, definitely Kithure Kindiki is going to be the deputy president. Now, back to Brian Odhiambo. You are going to take us to the next level, which is the High Court.
All right, so before I go there, there's some clarifications that we need to make for the audience.
Yeah.
And the first one is about the fairness or the fastness or the hastiness, how people have been calling the impeachment motion. So, you know, PSC, that is true.
Yeah.
But in Kenya, we have the guidelines of our land, that is the 2010 Constitution. And that is what we've been abiding with. So if the Constitution says that the process of the impeachment, once it is tabled in the National Parliament, it should take those number of days, then yes, you will be sick. That is humanity part.
Yeah,
but again, you need to understand that there is constitution that is awaiting for you. So the Constitution gives you the timeline of impeachment process, and we need to abide with that. Because I remember that day when I think it was Paul Mwite who was asking they should be given till Tuesday.
Yeah.
But the constitution gives a certain time frame of which that Tuesday would have been out of the time limit within the constitution. Within the constitution, the process was supposed to end on Saturday midnight, but because it was done through the timeline process within the constitution, then it was fair enough. And then this drives me back to, there have been speculations after the appointment of Kithure Kindiki now coming in the government. Now, there have been speculations saying that Kithure Kindiki is not fit for the position of being deputy president due to some limitations within the constitution. But I think that is out of context, because if you check on the guideline of our constitution and the guidelines of nominating the deputy president, there is that part that will tell you that you need to be out, or you should be not serving as an official in the government for 90 days, but this only during elections. So during elections, within 90 days, you should not be holding any public office. And just if I may take you back, within 14 days, the president must, or is required to nominate the DP, which is Kithure Kindiki was appointed in this case, and this is in Article 150, paragraph 1. And then the approval by the National Assembly should be done within 60 days, and that was done even within 24 hours. And I saw some people, the likes of Moses Kuria, putting on their social media that they were supposed to do the swearing. He posted that on X. And I also saw Oscar Sudi saying that on Tuesday around in the morning will be done the process. Yeah, actually that process gained insight in social media platforms, of which netizens and citizens, to be combined, knew that Kithure Kindiki was going to be sworn in. Back to you. Now, determining the time frame or the term, for one to be a Kenyan president or deputy president, is always 2 terms. Yeah. And it can't pass that. So let's say, for example, someone like Kithure Kindiki today, Kithure Kindiki successfully gets coming into office or successfully gets to take an oath. I think we need to see whether will it be considered the first time or it will be out of the constitution. Now, determining the new DP term, and this is Article 148, and this is paragraph 8, the term served by the newly appointed deputy president is determined in relation to the number of days remaining towards the upcoming election, that is in 2027. For instance, we are in 2024 October right now. So the midway of 5 terms from 2022 elections, August, it will be around 2025 April. So if Kindiki gets appointed and gets approved, that is after maybe the court has been dismissed or if it is allowed, but maybe in case he gets appointed right now, and comes into office, it will be counted as the midterm. The halfway of the midterm is 2.5 years, which will be in April next year. So if he gets appointed to that, then it will be his first term in the government, and he will just be vying for the second. That is based on the constitution. That is based on the constitution. Okay. Yeah. So about things to do in the court now, the court process for Rigathi Gachagua. I think the court process now after the approval, the court process is always very long. If you check on our Kenyan constitution, so there is first place where the mover of the motion, and that is Mwingi Mutuse in this case. So if the mover of the motion tables this motion of impeachment, the deputy president, the president is always the deputy president is always having that right, or even whether it's not the deputy president, that the so-said person to be impeached have that opportunity to go to the courts and challenge that motion and say that I don't want this motion to be heard or to be discussed. Then that was the first place where now court came in the former or the impeached deputy president came in. Now, if that has been declined by the High Court, then the second thing now is the discussion of that thing, because it has been declined in the court. So if it is declined in the court, now the National Assembly discusses it, and it was discussed and it was approved.
So it will be brought back to the National Assembly. So if the motion has been declined in the court, now it is taken to the Assembly the first time. But remember, Jared, I think you're posing a question that making me to ask myself. It won't. You see, the first place before the motion was tabled, before it was discussed, the deputy president went to the court and he challenged. That had already happened, so it won't happen again because it had already happened. So after that, it was discussed, passed. So after passed, it was supposed to be taken to the Senate now for the resolution. Within that period, you also have another chance to go to the court and then says that I want this motion not to be given a resolution in the Senate. That happened, and then the court declined as well. Then it was taken to the Senate, and then now the Senate now passed or approved the impeachment or gave out the resolution based on the 5 grounds that we talked about. Yeah. So if it is passed that way, then now it goes back again to the court, which now that is now the last part, the last stage of the process now we are in. And we've seen this not only for the impeached deputy president Rigathi Gachagua. You remember